Jump to content. Main menu. Main menu. Move to sidebar hide. Navigation. Main page. Contents. Current events. Random article. About Wikipedia. Contact us. Contribute. Help. Learn to edit. Community portal. Recent changes. Upload file. Search. Search. Appearance. Donate. Create account. Login. Personal tools. Donate. Create account. Login. Pages for logged out editors. Learn more. Contributions. Talk. Contents. Move to sidebar hide. Top 1 Etymology. Toggle etymology subsection. 1.1 Competence and capability. 1.2 Competence and performance. 1.3 Competence and intelligence. 2 Competence typologies. Toggle competence typologies subsection. 2.1 Atomistic and holistic competence. 2.2 Behavioral and functional competence. 2.3 Professional competence. 2.4 Personal competence. 2.5 Core competence. 2.6 Meta competence. 2.7 Other typologies. 3 Disciplines. Toggle disciplines subsection. 3.1 Education. 3.2 Academia. 3.3 Human resources. 3.4 Miscellaneous. 4 See also. 5 References. Toggle the table of contents. Competence, polyseme. 8 Languages. Dansk. Deutsch. Französisch. Italiano. Liatuvi. Polski. Suomi. Edit links. Article. Talk. English. Read. Edit. View history. Tools. Tools. Move to sidebar hide. Actions. Read. Edit. View history. General. What links here? Related changes. Upload file. Special pages. Permanent link. Page information. Cite this page. Get shortened URL. Download QR code. Print/export. Download as PDF. Printable version. In other projects. Wikicode. Wikidata item. Appearance. Move to sidebar hide. From Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia. Ability or capacity to perform a task effectively or successfully. For other uses, see competence, disambiguation. Part of a series on psychology. Outline. History. Subfields. Basic psychology. Abnormal. Affective neuroscience. Affective science. Behavioral genetics. Behavioral neuroscience. Behaviorism. Cognitive/cognitivism. Cognitive neuroscience. Social. Comparative. Cross-cultural. Cultural. Developmental. Differential. Ecological. Evolutionary. Experimental. Gestalt. Intelligence. Mathematical. Moral. Neuropsychology. Perception. Personality. Psycholinguistics. Psychophysiology. Quantitative. Social. Theoretical. Applied psychology. Anomalistic. applied behavior analysis, assessment, clinical, coaching, community, consumer, counseling, critical, educational, ergonomics, feminist, forensic, health, humanistic, industrial and organizational, legal, media, medical, military, music, occupational health, pastoral, political, positive, psychometrics, psychotherapy, religion, school, sport and exercise, suicidology, systems, traffic, concepts, behavior, behavioral engineering, behavioral genetics, behavioral neuroscience, cognition, competence, consciousness, consumer behavior, emotions, feelings, human factors and ergonomics, intelligence, mind, psychology of religion, psychometrics, terror management theory, lists, counseling topics, disciplines, organizations, outline, psychologists, psychotherapies, research methods, schools of thought, timeline, topics, psychology portal, V. T. E. Generic competence model with corresponding attributes. Competence, also called competency, 1, or capability, 2, is a polyseme, 3, 4, 5, indicating a variety of different notions. In current literature, 3 notions are most evident. The first notion is that of a general competence, which is someone's capacity or ability to perform effectively on a specified set of behavioral attributes, for example performances, skills, attitudes, tasks, roles, talents, and so forth. 6, 7, 8. The second notion refers to someone's capacity or ability to successfully perform a specific behavioral attribute, be it overt or covert, like learning a language, reading a book or playing a musical instrument. 8, 9, 10. In both notions, someone may be qualified as being competent. In a third notion, a competence is the behavioral attribute itself, instead of a general or specific capacity or ability. 11, 12. One may for example excel at the competence of baking, at the competency of ceramics, or at the capability of reflexivity. The pluralized forms of competence and competency are respectively competencies and competences. 13. According to Boyatzis, 2008, competencies are part of a behavioral approach to emotional, social, and cognitive intelligence. 14. Moreover, competence is measurable and can be developed through training. 14. In the context of human resources, practice may enable someone to improve the efficiency or performance of an activity or a job. 14. Concepts like knowledge, expertise, values or desires are not behavioral attributes but can be contained in behavior once executed. 8. Take for example sharing knowledge or actualizing a desire. Etymology. Edit. Wikiquote has quotations related to competence. The term competence isn't novel and predates literature in the 20th century. 15. It first entered professional literature via the article Motivation Reconsidered, the concept of competence authored by R.W. White in 1959. 16. He introduced the term competence to describe those personality characteristics associated with high motivation and superior performance. Postulating a relationship between achieved capacity and competence motivation, White defined competence as an effective interaction of the individual with the environment. 17. In the late 1960s, the competence movement had been initiated by David McClelland. 18. 19. The movement has its origins in the conspicuous failure of educational qualifications to predict occupational success. 1. The term gained traction in 1973, when McClelland wrote a seminal paper entitled Testing for Competence Rather than for Intelligence. 20. McClelland followed White's approach in arguing that capacity is more important than intelligence. 1. The term has since been popularized, most notably, by individuals such as Thomas F. Gilbert, in Human Competence, Engineering-Worthy Performance, 1978, Winking Sad Smiley 21. Richard E. Boyatzis, in The Competent Manager, A Model for Effective Performance, 1982, Winking Sad Smiley 22. C. K. Prahalad and Gary Harmel, in The Core Competence of the Corporation, 1990, and 23. Daniel Goleman, in Emotional Intelligence, Why It Can Matter More Than IQ, 1995. 24, 25, 26. Its uses vary widely, which has led to considerable misunderstanding. 27. Studies on competence indicate that competence covers a very complicated and extensive range of disciplines, ranging from human resources to psychology and from science to education, with various scholars holding different interpretations of the term. According to Zemke, 1982, the terms competency, competence, and their affiliated counterparts are akin to Humpty Dumpty words that derive their meaning solely from the interpreter's intent. This issue arises not due to ill intentions, ignorance, or commercial motives, but stems from procedural and philosophical variations among those vying to establish and shape the concept. This involves constructing the blueprint for how the broader population will incorporate competencies into their routine training endeavors. 28. Competence and capability. Edit. In an influential paper from 1992, Dorothy A. Leonard took on a knowledge-based approach when discussing competency in the context of managerial and technical systems. She defined a core capability as a set of knowledge that distinguishes a company strategically. Core capability wasn't a new concept, back in the 90s. Other scholars have also referred to it using various terms like distinctive competencies, core competencies, resource deployments, and invisible assets. Leonard was however the first to explicitly plot core capabilities against core rigidities. In a narrow sense, core rigidities represent inappropriate knowledge sets that can hinder a firm's progress. 2. Following the release of this paper, a tendency has grown to employ the terms competencies and capabilities interchangeably, often without clear differentiation. In other instances, a more precise definition is given priority over a highly inclusive scope. 29. Competence and performance. Edit. Performance has been described by some scholars as the capacity or ability to accomplish specific tasks. Noteworthy figures such as White, McClelland, and Boyatzis have all upheld the notion that competence is tantamount to effective performance. 17, 20, 22. Furthermore, a consensus has arisen among scholars like McClelland, Boyatzis, Spencer and Spencer, as well as H.F. Evarts, regarding the similarity between competence and superior performance. 20, 22, 18, 30. Authors including McClelland, Kanungo and Misra, and Martin and Staines consider competence to be successful performance. 20, 31, 32. All these conceptualizations corroborate performance's role as a neutral carrier for competence. Oftentimes, the term performance is extended to delineate the capacity or ability of mechanical, rather than biological systems, to fulfill certain tasks. 33, 34. This task-oriented approach diverges from a behavioral approach as to evade anthropomorphisms. Amidst ongoing developments in artificial intelligence, mechanistic systems receive anthropomorphic characteristics increasingly often. 35. The way performance is being defined mirrors attempts made by authors to emphasize core competence in a similar light. 36. This attempt has failed, however, since a consensus on consistent use of competence and competency as separate terms has not been established. 36. Competence and Intelligence. Edit. In his influential paper Testing for Competence Rather Than for Intelligence, David McClelland sheds light on the advantages of measuring competence over intelligence. McClelland points out that the traits measured by traditional intelligence tests do not reliably correlate with high-level performance in society. He goes on to identify a significant error in categorizing these abilities as general intelligence, advocating for a more nuanced approach. McClelland's approach acknowledges the multifaceted nature of human capabilities, signaling a departure from a singular focus on cognitive or intellectual abilities. 20. McClelland emphasizes that there's no solid evidence to suggest that human traits, including cognitive abilities, are innate and cannot be altered. This perspective aligns with the idea that individuals have the capacity to grow, learn, and develop new skills throughout their lives. McClelland's perspective encourages a move away from the pursuit of pinpointing abstract ability factors. Instead, he urges the adoption of assessments that align with the evolving nature of human potential. He suggests that tests rooted in life outcome behaviors can validate their worth by demonstrating that a person's ability to perform such tasks improves as their competence in those areas increases. 20. Competence typologies. Edit. Atomistic and holistic competence. Edit. In 1996, a paper titled What is Competence? Was published by Hager and Gonchi, which addresses an apparent tension between atomistic and holistic competence. 37. Hager and Gonchi criticize the misconception among scholars that labeling an approach as atomistic automatically warrants its rejection without further justification. They emphasize the necessity of justifying the application of any competence standard. To illustrate their point, they draw an analogy with chemistry, where discrete atoms come together to form molecules with distinct properties. Similarly, in the interpretation of competence, especially occupational competence, the authors assert that breaking down an occupation into isolated tasks, as done in a task-oriented approach, is inherently atomistic. This approach fails to provide a synthesis of the tasks, thereby undermining the complex nature of the occupation and corresponding competences. On the other hand, Hager and Gonchi caution against adhering strictly to a rigid holism that dismisses all forms of analysis. They acknowledge that some degree of atomism in competence approaches may be necessary, as long as it is complemented by an appropriate amount of holism. Finding the right balance between analysis and synthesis is crucial for understanding and developing competency standards effectively. 37. Occupational competencies are constructs, 38, which are often inferred from the performance of complex tasks. 37. In contrast, the performance of a task is directly observable and doesn't have to be inferred. Unlike atomistic tasks, holistic tasks are not discrete and independent. For example, practice and assessment will typically involve a simultaneity of several tasks. Furthermore, These tasks will involve situational understanding, which means that a worker must take into account multiple contexts while being involved in practice. Although tasks are given as an example, Hager and Gonchi stress the importance of integrating competence standards as to also include attributes. Forgetting about attributes and concentrating solely on tasks may lead someone to lapse into a narrow view of occupational competence, they insist. Approaches to competence that focus exclusively on either tasks or attributes ignore the complex nature of competence. Hence an integrated approach to competence standards, which integrates key tasks and attributes, is supported. 37. Behavioral and functional competence. Edit. The competence movement has inspired individuals from a variety of countries like the United States, the United Kingdom, France, Germany and Australia. Two traditions in particular have represented the early stages of the competence movement, namely the behavioral, or US, approach and the functional, or UK, approach. 27. Multiple scholars have attempted to differentiate between these two traditions. Delamere, Deist and Winterton, 2005, are convinced that since the 1990s the behavioral conception of competence had been transformed into a broader functional conception, which includes knowledge and skills alongside behavioral characteristics. 27. Terry Hyland, 1997, offers an alternative interpretation. 38. According to Hyland, alternative models only purport to include wide-ranging knowledge and values. He supposes that functional analysis, which would be inherent to behavioral approaches, 38, is primarily committed to the assessment and accreditation of performance outcomes, not performance improvement. 38. Those who wish to apply their models to value-laden occupations, such as teaching, run into the problem that competence systems, whether these are atomistic as in the British model or allegedly holistic as in the Australian model, are concerned only with performance outcomes, not with the processes of learning and development. 38. Chivas and Cheatham, 2000. Supplement that not only does the functional approach favor outcomes over processes, it heavily emphasizes occupational standards over vocational standards. 39. Furthermore, Hyland clarifies that functional analysis can only wish to supplement or temper a behaviorist approach. 38. Hyland hereby firmly presents the key difference between the behavioral and functional approach. 38. 39. Even within the predominantly behavioral approach, many conceptions of competence now include knowledge and skills alongside attitudes, behaviors, work habits, abilities and personal characteristics. 27. The behavioral approach is promoted most notably by David McClelland, Boyatzis, and Spencer. 27. Professional competence. Edit. Since the 1950s, the concept of competence has found its way into professional literature, transforming various fields and shaping the way we understand professional capabilities. Over the decades, competence models have played a significant role in mapping professions and crafting effective professional education and development programs. At its core, Mulder, 2014, suggests, competence development is a socio-constructivist journey. It thrives on the dynamic interplay of social interactions, wherein professionals engage in context-specific quests to improve their capacity. 16. There have been numerous competence frameworks supporting competence development. One such initiative is competence-based teacher education, CBTE, which came about during the 1970s. Rooted in behavioristic psychology and educational philosophy, CBTE sought to prepare students for specific functions. However, the undertaking was not devoid of challenges and critiques. In response to the limitations of function-oriented perspectives, the concept of integrated occupationalism emerged. Unlike a narrow focus on job profiles, this approach embraced a broader vision. It emphasized holistic, generic and integrated capabilities that are vital for navigating the complexities of occupational roles. On top of integrated occupationalism, situated professionalism emerged. This theory established a nexus between competence and the context in which professionals interact. At the core lies the cultivation of a professional identity, reflecting the principles of situated cognition. It delves into the idea that competence is shaped by the expectations of stakeholders, guiding the professional towards desired actions and outcomes. The culmination of these endeavors has resulted in the enrichment of professional and practice-based learning across many fields. 16. Personal competence. Edit. In his study, Day, 1994, points out that beginning in the 1980s, there has been a growing acknowledgement within both business and education sectors regarding the development of personal profiles and portfolios. As a result, employees are now significantly more involved in identifying their individual learning needs. This has led to the recognition and acceptance of personal development as an integral aspect of professional growth. Furthermore, Day's study indicates that personal competencies can be examined separately from one's professional competence, though it might be useful to consider both. 40. Scholars frequently examine interpersonal and intrapersonal competencies. For instance, Parkett al. 2017, conducted a study on a tripartite taxonomy of character, investigating interpersonal, intrapersonal, and intellectual competencies in children. Parkett al. has built upon the competency clusters introduced by the National Research Council, NRC. 41. The tripartite taxonomy was however already apparent since B.B. Rothenberg released her study Children's Social Sensitivity and the Relationship to Interpersonal Competence, Intrapersonal Comfort, and Intellectual Level in 1970. 42. Parkett al. has gathered evidence supporting the usefulness of a tripartite taxonomy of character within the school context. The study defines its taxonomy as follows: interpersonal character includes gratitude, social intelligence, and self-control, while intrapersonal character involves academic performance and perseverance. Lastly, intellectual character includes curiosity and enthusiasm. Based on this research orientation, Parkett al. found that interpersonal competence predicts positive peer relations, intrapersonal competence predicts grades and regulated behavior, and intellectual competence predicts class participation and active learning. 41. Core competence. Edit. Main article, Core competency. Core competence can be interpreted as the competence of an organization, but may also pertain to a group of individuals operating within an organization. Core competencies encompass the amassed capabilities within an organization, in particular attempts to harmonize professional skills and technological innovation. At its essence, core competence includes involvement, commitment and communication, transcending organizational boundaries and hierarchies, while fostering a culture of inclusivity within the organization. 23. At the nexus between core competencies and end products are the core products. Core products are the physical components, for example subassemblies, that increase the value of the end products. Well-targeted core products allow a company to optimize its development stage and go-to-market strategy. By increasing the number of application arenas for its core products, a company can systematically improve efficiency, and reduce expenses and risks associated with novel product creation. In essence, well-targeted core products have the potential to yield economies of both scale and scope. 23. Metacompetence. Edit. According to Brown, 1993, metacompetences refer to advanced capabilities associated with learning, creating, adapting and anticipating, rather than merely showcasing a capability to perform on a specific task. 43. This is particularly evident in learning and reflecting, which are crucial for developing mental frameworks. 44. Metacompetences often encompass the concept of learning to learn. 45. 46. Metacompetence can also be summarized as the capability to improve one's competences. Other typologies. Edit. Various other typologies exist to categorize competence in a wider context. These include social competence, the ability to navigate social interactions effectively. Cultural competence, the ability to meet cultural expectations. Cross-cultural competence, the ability to adapt effectively in cross-cultural environments. Communicative competence, the ability to communicate adequately, both verbally and non-verbally. Linguistic competence, the mastery of a specific language, including grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. This list is not exhaustive. Competence typologies cover a wide range, with new typologies emerging regularly to address specific contexts. Disciplines. Edit. This section needs expansion. You can help by adding to it. September 2023. Education. Edit. Main article, Competency-based education. Growing demand for knowledge acquisition across various professional and personal spheres has raised the importance of effective education. Beginning in the late 1980s, governmental intervention worldwide has led to a considerable reconsideration of competence outcomes at all levels of the educational spectrum, encompassing elementary, secondary, tertiary, vocational, empirical and adult education. The value and valuation of these outcomes serve as criteria for assessing the productivity and quality of the educational system. According to Clearmit. A.L. 2008, effective education could no longer be supported by a rigid canon of intergenerational knowledge and professional qualifications. A more dynamic approach is needed to meet the ever-changing competence requirements. 47. Academia. Edit. Academic competence, seen as a subset of student competence, hinges on the effective application of study skills. According to a study conducted by Gettinger and Seberts, 2002, students across all grade levels who possess strong study skills tend to excel academically. However, they suggest, for study skills to be truly effective in promoting academic competence, students must exhibit enough willingness and motivation to engage in studying. Student engagement and proper utilization of study skills are closely intertwined, both bolstering academic competence. Unfortunately, many students pass through the educational system without attaining the level of academic competence necessary for academic success. In light of this, Gettinger and Seberts emphasize prioritizing research aimed at implementing effective classroom strategies and promoting effective study habits among all students. 48. Human resources. Edit. Main article, Competence, Human Resources. Leading up to the 1990s, the application of capability as a behavioral approach, competence, had primarily centered around innovation and learning experiences aimed at fostering capability in both educational and workplace settings, as noted by Stevenson and Weil, 1992, and Graves, 1993. 49, 50. During the 1990s, in particular in Australia, people grew hesitant of the behavioral approach. The association between capability and human resources strengthened, shifting away the attention from education. 51. Hayes and Davis, 1999, explains this transgression as follows: while competences form the foundation of capability, competences alone may be insufficient for achieving optimal human resource management. They proclaim that competences are rooted in a traditional pedagogical paradigm, which fails to fully equip individuals with the attributes needed to succeed in a workplace setting. 52. Miscellaneous. Edit. Other relevant disciplines, wherein competence plays a role, are among others science, pedagogy, professional psychology, healthcare, and engineering. See also. Edit. Circle of competence, the subject area which matches a person's skills or expertise. Competency architecture, framework of skills used in competency-based learning. Competency dictionary, competency within an organization. Dunning-Kruger effect, cognitive bias about one's own skill. Peter Principle Management Concept by Lawrence J. Peter. Portals. Business and economics. Education. Engineering. Psychology. Science. Society. References. Edit. ABC Raven, J.S. 2001. The McClelland/McBurr Competency Models. In Raven, J. and Stevenson, J. eds. 2001. Competence in the Learning Society, pp. 225235, 253274. Peter Language. A.B. Leonard Barton, Dorothy. 1992. Core Capabilities and Core Rigidities, A Paradox in Managing New Product Development. Strategic Management Journal. Volume 13. Ayala, Otto. 2020. Information Skills and Research Competencies in University Students. National Major University of San Marcos. Volume 2, Number 4, pp. 668679. Clement Bonilla, 1b. 2017. Strengths and Weaknesses of the Polysemic Concept of Competences. Volume 17, Number 3, pp. 3363. ISSN 1409-4703. Tameo MJV. And Rodriguez LRF. 2023. The Conceptual Treatment of Professional Competencies, an Approximation. pp. 7-9. Cringeri, Bruno. 2022. Competence-Based Approaches in Organizational and Individual Context. Humanities and Social Sciences Communications. Volume 9. Van Aken, M.A.G. 1992. The Development of General Competence and Domain-Specific Competences. Wiley Online Library. Volume 6. ABC Arifin, Emma. 2021. Competence, Competency, and Competencies, A Misunderstanding in Theory and Practice for Future Reference. International Journal of Academic Research in Business and Social Sciences. pp. 755764. Aberk, Boris. 2018. Problem-Based Learning and Proprioception. Cambridge Scholars Publishing. Coat Butler, F. 1978. The Concept of Competence, an Operational Definition. Educational Technology Publications, Incorporated. Volume 18, Number 1. pp. 718. Gervais, J. 2016. The Operational Definition of Competency-Based Education. Wiley Online Library. https://do.org/1002/CBE2.1011. Wong, S.C. 2020. Competency Definitions, Development and Assessment, A Brief Review. International Journal of Academic Research in Progressive Education and Development. pp. 95-114. Vitello, S., Greater X, J., Shaw, S. 2021. What is competence? A shared interpretation of competence to support teaching, learning and assessment. Cambridge University Press and Assessment. ABC Boyatzis, R.E. 2008. Competencies in the 21st Century. Journal of Management Development. ISSN 0262-1711. Hall, W.W. 1869. The Guideboard to Health, Peace and Competence, or, The Road to Happy Old Age. Literary Licensing, LLC, 2014. ABC Mulder, Martin. 2014. Conceptions of Professional Competence. pp. 107-133. In Billette, Stephen, Hartis, Christian and Gruber, Hans. 2014. International Handbook of Research in Professional and Practice-Based Learning. A.B. White, R.W. 1959. Motivation Reconsidered, The Concept of Competence. Psychological Review. pp. 297333. Do 10.1037/H00400934. A.B. Spencer, L.M., and Spencer, S.M. 1993. Competence at Work. New York, Wiley. Ambrose, Jacqueline. 2000. The formulation of competencies for general workers within an international foods manufacturer. University of Natal. ABCDEF McClelland, D.C. 1973. Testing for competence rather than for intelligence. American Psychologist. pp. 1-14 do 10.1037/H00344092. Gilbert, T.F. 1978. Human Competence, Engineering Worthy Performance. NSPI Journal. pp. 1927. Do 10.1002/Phi.41801709115. ABC Boyatzis, Richard E. 1982. The Competent Manager. A Model for Effective Performance. John Wiley and Sons, Inc., New York. ABC Prahalad, C.K. and Harmel, G. 1990. The Core Competence of the Corporation. Harvard Business Review. Volume 68, Number 3, pp. 79-91. Goldman, Daniel. 1995. Emotional Intelligence, Why It Matters More Than IQ. Bantam Books. Goleman, D. 2000. Emotional Intelligence, Issues in Paradigm Building. In D. Goleman, and C. Chernis, eds. The Emotionally Intelligent Workplace, How to Select for, Measure, and improve emotional intelligence in individuals, groups, and organizations. San Francisco, CA, Josabase. Boyatzis, RE, Goleman, D, and Re, K. 2000. Clustering Competence in Emotional Intelligence, Insights from the Emotional Competence Inventory, ECI-S. In Arbaon and JDA. Parker, eds, Handbook of Emotional Intelligence. San Francisco, Josabase, pp. 343362. ABCDE Delamere Deist, F. and Winterton, J. 2005. What is competence? Human Resource Development International. Volume 8, Number 1, pp. 2746. Zemke, Ron. 1982. Job competencies, can they help you design better training? Training. p. 28. Galunik, Charles D. and Rodin, Simon. 1998. Resource Recombinations in the Firm, Knowledge Structures and the Potential for Schumpeterian Innovation. John Wiley and Sons, Incorporated. Arts, H.F. 1987. The Competency Program of the American Management Association, Industrial and Commercial Training, Volume 19, Number 1, pp. 3-7-10.1108/ib004054. Kanungo, R.N., and Misra, S. 1992. Managerial Resourcefulness, a reconceptualization of management skills. Human Relations. pp. 1311-1332. Do 10.1177/001872679204501204. Martin, G. and Staines, H. 1994, Managerial Competencies in Small Firms, Journal of Management Development, Volume 13, Number 7, pp. 23-34. Do 10.1108/02621719410063396. Oakley, D.R., Hughes, H.R. and Rhodes, G.S. 1998. Performance Optimization of Multidisciplinary Mechanical Systems Subject to Uncertainties. Probabilistic Engineering Mechanics. Volume 13, pp. 15-26. Nordin, M. and Gutman, P. 2002. Controlling Mechanical Systems with Backlash, a Survey. Automatica. Volume 38, pp. 1633-1649. Grimm, Cindy M. 2021. The Danger of Anthropomorphic Language in Robotic AI Systems. Brookings. A.B. Arifin, Emma. 2021. Competence, Competency, and Competencies, a Misunderstanding in Theory and Practice for Future Reference. International Journal of Academic Research in Business and Social Sciences. p. 760. A.B.C.D. Hager, Paul and Gonchi, Andrew. 1996. What is Competence? Medical Teacher, Volume 18, Number 1. A.B.C.D.E.F.G. Highland, T. 1997. Reconsidering Competence. Journal of Philosophy of Education, Volume 31, Number 3, pp. 491492, 495496, 499. A.B. Chivas, Jeff and Cheatham, Graham, 2000. Towards an Holistic Approach to Professional Learning and Development Adult Education Research Conference. https://newprioritors.org/ERIC/2000/roundtables/10. Day, Christopher. 1994. Personal Development Planning, a Different Kind of Competency. British Journal of In-Service Education. Volume 20, Number 3, p. 287. A.B. Park, Dayan, Zukayama, Eli, Goodwin, Jeffrey P., Patrick, Sarah, and Duckworth, Angela L. 2017. A Tripartite Taxonomy of Character, Evidence for Intrapersonal, Interpersonal, and Intellectual Competencies in Children. Contemp Educ Psychol. pp. 1627. Rothenberg, B.B. 1970. Children's Social Sensitivity and the Relationship to Interpersonal Competence, Intrapersonal Comfort, and Intellectual Level. Developmental Psychology. pp. 335-350. Do 10.1037/H00291775. Brown, R.B. 1993. Metacompetence, a Recipe for Reframing the Competence Debate. Personnel Review. Volume 22, Number 6, pp. 25-36. Highland, T. 1992. Metacompetence, Metaphysics and Vocational Expertise. Competence and Assessment, Employment Department, Number 20. Nyhan, B. 1991. Developing People's Ability to Learn, a European Perspective on Self-Learning Competency and Technological Change. Eurotechnet Technical Assistance Office. Nuthall, G. 1999. Learning How to Learn, The Evolution of Students' Minds Through the Social Processes and Culture of the Classroom. International Journal of Educational Research, Volume 31, Number 3, pp. 139-256. Cleum, E., Hartig, J., and Rauch, D. 2008. The Concept of Competence in Educational Contexts. In J. Hartig, E. Cleum, and Dielitno, eds, Assessment of Competences in Educational Contexts, p. 3. Hogrefe and Huber Publishers. Gettinger, Maribeth and Sabert, Jill K. 2002. Contributions of Study Skills to Academic Competence. School Psychology Review. Volume 31, Number 3, pp. 350-365. Stevenson, J. and Weil, S. 1992. Quality in Learning, a Capability Approach in Higher Education. Kogan Page. Graves, N. 1993. Learner-Managed Learning, Practice, Theory and Policy. WEF and HEC. Cairns, LG. And Hayes, S. 1996. Capability and Re-Engineering in Educational Change. Second AC DUSCO International Conference. Hayes, S., and Davis, L. 1999. From Competence to Capability, The Implications for Human Resource Development and Management. Association of International Management. Authority Control Databases, National. Germany. Retrieved from https://en.wikipedia.org/w/index.php title = competence_left polyseme right &olded = 12414444723. Categories: Human behavior, Human resource management, Incompetence. Hidden categories: Articles with short description. Short description matches Wikidata. Articles with excerpts. Articles to be expanded from September 2023. All articles to be expanded. This page was last edited on the 21st of August 2024 at 6:12 UTC. Text is available under the Creative Commons Attribution Share Alike 4.0 license. Additional terms may apply. By using this site, you agree to the terms of use and privacy policy. Wikipedia registered trademark symbol is a registered trademark of the Wikimedia Foundation, Inc., a non-profit organization. Privacy policy. About Wikipedia. Disclaimers. Contact Wikipedia. Code of conduct. Developers. Statistics. Cookie statement. Mobile view.